Hello! Welcome to tonight's live reading of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, presented by Freakish Films. We are so excited to be here for yet another table read tonight, and you're in for a great show. Freakish Films hosts these live table reads free for the public, but I do want to remind you and bring your attention to the information that you see on the screen about how you can donate and support our live table reads. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's go around and introduce ourselves. We've got great talent tonight, as always. Let's start in the order of who's on my screen. Let's start with you, Sam.
Hi, my name is Sam, and I will be playing the roles of Angel, Luke, and the Master.
All right, Sam. All right. Let's go to you, Tiana.
Yeah, my name is Tiana Stewart, and I'll be reading for the roles of Darla and Willow.
Great. Hunter.
Hi, I'm Hunter Wolf. I'm going to be reading for Xander and Giles.
Exciting. And Laura.
Hi, I'm Lara Shah, and I'll be reading for Buffy.
All right, exciting. And I am Gracie. I will be the narrator as well as assorted characters throughout as needed. You're gonna be hearing me kind of, take up some more little characters here and there, but we are all so excited to be here. We're gonna be having a great time tonight. Let's get started without further ado. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right, so tonight we present Welcome to the Hellmouth, written by Joss Whedon, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Teaser, fade in. Exterior Sunnydale High School, night. The front of the affluent Southern California school gleams darkly in the moonlight. We cut to interior hall, continuous. Track through the hall, nothing. We cut to interior classroom, continuous, silent. We track along the wall, past the maps and drawings tacked up on it, past the window, which shatters in our faces. It's just a single pane knocked in by someone's hand. It unlocks the window and slides it up. The intruder is a college-age boy, a timid girl beside him. She looks about, nervously.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
Boy, it's a great idea. Come on. As they climb in, we cut to an interior scene of a hall a moment later. The boy leads her out here. It's even darker than the classroom.
You go to school here?
On top of the gym, it's so cool. You can see the whole town.
I don't want to go up there.
Oh, you can't wait, huh? He moves to kiss her.
We're just going to get in trouble.
Count on it. He kisses her, but she turns suddenly, real fear crossing her face.
What was that?
What was that?
I heard a noise.
It's nothing.
Maybe it's something.
Maybe it's something.
That's not funny.
He looks about them. The place is dark, shadowy. She cowers behind him. Hello? There's silence. There's nobody here.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
She bares horrible fangs and buries them in his neck. Blackout. End of teaser. We see credits. Act 1, exterior night and alley, the dream. We close up on shoes. A poor man's shoes walking down the alley, echoing in the emptiness. Angle, the man, walking tentatively far away. Suddenly the camera rushes at him like a predator. He turns just as it reaches him and, Angle, a candle, blowing out. We hear children chanting a schoolyard song eerily in the blackness, on top of sinister whispers, and we see the alley, the man face down, unable to crawl, clawing his way along the ground in terror, and his body is yanked out of frame with incredible speed. We see a girl in bed tossing and turning as the camera moves down to reveal the shadow of something, approaching her, and we hear an impossibly low voice. I'll take you. Like a cancer. I'll get inside you and eat my way out. An angle, a pool of blood. Another angle, a demonic face, roars out of the shadows. Then we cut to interior Buffy's bedroom, morning. Her eyes snap open. Despite the morning light, we recognize the girl and the bed from the dream. A moment, as she gets her bearings, shakes off the immediacy of the dream. Buffy's mom says, Buffy?
I'm up, Mom.
I don't want you to be late for your first day.
Oh, I wouldn't want that.
Her voice betrays her uncertainty. She sits up. A wider angle on her room reveals that it's only half decorated. There's still boxes, as yet unpacked, in the corner. Cut to Sunnydale High School, morning. A day as bright and colorful as the night was black and eerie. Students pour in before first bell, talking, laughing. They could be from anywhere in America, but for the extremity of their dress and the esoteric mania of their slang, this is definitely SoCal. We see a car. It pulls up outside the school, and Buffy's mom, Joyce, is driving. Buffy gets out the passenger side. Joyce says, "Now, you have a good time. I know you'll make friends right away. Think positive. And honey, try not to get kicked out."
I promise.
The girl turns, looks at the school, and she starts in as her mother drives away. We see an angle of a skateboard weaving around the road. On it is Xander, dressed with the shaggy indifference common to skateboarders. He's bright, funny, and will one day be suave and handsome. But till that day arrives, he will do the best he can with bright and funny. He weaves through a thickening mass of students toward the school.
Coming through. Not certain how to stop.
But he's doing okay until he passes Buffy. Intrigued by the new face, he cranes to look at her and nearly takes a header. He saves himself from falling, however, coming to a stop just in front of Willow. She's shy, bookish, and very possibly dressed by her mother. The intelligence in her eyes and the sweetness of her smile belly a genuine charm that is lost on the unsubtle high school mind. It's certainly lost on Xander, though. He brightens considerably to see her. The new face forgotten, at least for now.
Willow, you're so much the person I wanted to see.
Her excitement at the sentiment is sweetly pathetic and typically unnoticed.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of had a problem with the math.
Oh, which part?
The math. Can you help me tonight, please? Be my study buddy.
Well, what's in it for me?
Shiny nickel?
Okay. Do you have theories in trig? You should check it out.
Check it out.
From the library, where the books live.
Right. I'm there. See? I want to change.
Interior school hall, continuous shot. They're approached by Jesse, their bud. He's a little more awkward than Xander, a little less likely to become a lady killer in his later years. Jesse says, "Hey."
Jesse, what's what?
"New girl."
That's right. I saw her. She's pretty much a hottie.
Oh, I heard someone was transferring here.
So, tell.
Tell what?
What's the sitch? What do you know about her?
New girl?
Well, you're certainly a font of nothing.
We cut to Bob Flutie's office. Buffy sits before Principal Flutie. He's middle-aged, a tad officious, caught between the old school of strict discipline and the new school of sensitivity. He pulls her transcripts from a folder. He looks at it, then looks at her. Mr. Flutie says, "Buffy Summers, sophomore, late of Henry High in Los Angeles. Interesting record, quite a career." He smiles and carefully tears up her transcript up into 4 pieces. "Welcome to Sunnydale. A clean slate, Buffy, that's what you get here. What's past is past. We're not interested in what it says on a piece of paper, even if it says, whoa. At Sunnydale, we nurture the whole student, the inner student." He's taking the pieces of the transcript as he talks and carefully placing them together again. "Other schools might look at the incredible decline in grade point average. We look at the struggling young woman with the incredible decline in grade point average. Other schools might look at the reports of gang fights.
Mr. Flutie?
All the kids here are free to call me Bob."
Bob?
But they don't. He pulls out a piece of tape, starts taping the transcript back together.
Mr. Flutie, I know my transcripts are a little colorful.
Hey, we're not caring about that. Do you think colorful is the word, not dismal? Just offhand, I'd go with dismal.
It wasn't that bad.
You burned down the gym?
I did. I really did. But you got to see the big picture. I mean, the gym was full of asbestos.
Buffy, don't worry. Any other school, they might say, "Watch your step," or we'll be watching you, or get within 100 yards of the gym with a book of matches and you'll grow up in juvie hall, but that's just not the way here. We want to service your needs and help you to respect our needs. And if your needs and our needs don't mesh, still smiling blandly, he slips the taped up transcript back in her folder. We cut to the hall a moment later. Buffy exits the office looking a bit depressed. She starts rummaging through her bag and a student runs by, bumps into her. Her books and stuff spill out. Frustrated, she kneels down, starts scooping it back up. Xander sees this and goes up to her, kneeling.
Can I have you? Yeah, can I help you?
Thanks.
He starts picking things up and hands them to her.
I don't know you, do I?
I'm new. I'm Buffy.
Xander is me. Hi.
Thanks.
Maybe I'll see you around. Maybe at school, since we both go there.
Nice to meet you.
He gives her the rest of her books. She stuffs it all in her bag and hurries away.
Both go to school. Very suave, very not pathetic.
He notices something on the floor and bends down to get it, calls after her.
Oh, hey, you forgot your steak?
But she's too far off to hear. He looks at the wooden stake, puzzled. We cut to history class in the morning. The teacher's in front, lecturing. We hear her mostly in voice as we see Buffy near the back, earnestly taking notes, trying to keep up. Teacher. It's estimated that about 25 million people died in that 1 4-year span. But the fun part of the Black Plague is that it originated in Europe. How? As an early form of germ warfare. The plague was first found in Asia, and a Kipchak army actually catapulted plague-infested corpses into a Genoese trading post. Ingenious. If you look at the map on page 63, you can trace the spread of disease. Buffy looks about as kids open their books, but she hasn't got one. The girl next to her, Cordelia, leans over. She's pretty, self-assured, killer outfit. Here, Cordelia says. She moves her book over so Buffy can read off it as well.
Thanks.
Teacher, and this popular plague led to what social changes? We cut to the end of class. Kids are piling up their books and leaving as the bell rings. Cordelia introduces herself. Hi, I'm Cordelia.
Buffy.
If you're looking for a textbook of your very own, there's probably a few in the library.
Oh, great. Thanks. Where would that be?
Oh, I'll show you. As the girls walk through the crowded hall, Cordelia says, you transferred from Henry, right? In LA?
Yeah.
Oh, I would kill to live in LA, being that close to that many shoes. Why'd you come here?
Because my mom moved is the reason. I mean, we both moved, but my mom moved too.
We cut to a continuous shot of the hall. Cordelia, well, you'll be okay here. If you hang out with me and mine, you'll be accepted in no time. Of course, we do have to test your coolness factor. You're from LA, so you can skip, but let's see, vamp nail polish?
Over?
So over. James Spader.
Needs to call me.
Trendy, but tasty. John Tesh.
Devil?
Well, that pretty much was a gimme, but you passed.
Good.
They stop at the water fountain, which is being used by Willow. Nice dress. Good to know you've seen the softer side of Sears. Wow, that hurt. Buffy says nothing, surprised by Cordelia's sudden viciousness. Willow says, almost apologetically,
Oh, well, my mom picked it out.
oh, no wonder you're such a guy magnet. Are you done?
Oh,
She vacates the fountain. Cordy steps up to it, looking at Buffy. Cordy says, you want to fit in here? The first rule is know your losers. Once you can identify them all by sight, they're a lot easier to avoid. She bends down to drink. Buffy looks at the departing Willow unhappily. Another hall a minute later, as Buffy and Cordelia walk toward the library, Cordelia says, and if you're not too swamped with catching up, you should come out to the Bronze tonight.
The who?
The Bronze. It's the only club worth going to around here. They let anybody in, but it's still the scene. It's in the bad part of town.
Where's that?
About a half a block from the good part of town. We don't have a whole lot of town. You should show. They arrive at the entrance to the library.
Well, I'll try. Thanks.
Good. I'll see you at the gym, and you can tell me absolutely everything there is to know about yourself. Cordelia goes off.
That sounds like fun.
We cut to the library, continuous shot. Buffy enters looking about her. It's elegant, full of dark wood, streaming sunlight, and books. It's also empty. Buffy steps in, looking around. She looks down at the checkout counter to see a newspaper, folded with an article on the first page, circled in red. The headline reads, "Local Boys Still Missing," with a blurry picture of 3 brothers. Buffy wanders further in. She peers around a bookcase,
Hello? Is anybody here?
and someone touches her from behind. Startled, she spins.
Can I help you?
He's a British middle age with a quiet intensity.
I was looking for some, well, books. I'm new.
Miss Summers.
Good call. I guess I'm the only new kid.
I'm Mr. Giles, the librarian.
Great. So you have,
I know what you're after.
He leads her to the checkout desk by the door. His office can be seen behind it. He pulls a book out and slides it toward Buffy. Huge leather bound with a single word set in gilt in the cover. Vampire. Real concern floods Buffy's face, along with the understanding. She steps back from the desk, eyes on the librarian.
that's not what I'm looking for.
Are you sure?
I'm way sure.
My mistake.
He replaces the book under the counter.
So, what is it you said?
But she's gone. We cut to the women's locker room in the afternoon. 2 girls approach their lockers talking. They begin undressing, just shoes, coats, and stuff. Get your mind out of the gutter. Girl 1 says, "The new kid? She seems kind of weird to me. What kind of name is Buffy?" Girl 2, "Hey, Aphrodisia." Girl 1, "Hey." Girl number 3, "Well, the chatter is in the calf is that she got kicked out. That's why her mom had to get a new job." Girl number 1, "Neg." Girl number 3, "Pause. She was starting fights." Girl number 1, opening her locker, "Niggly." Girl number 3, handwritten, Aura, opening hers. "Well, I heard it from Blue and she saw the transcript. Something flies out of the locker at her. She screams as the dead body of the boy from the opening collapses on her, eyes horribly wide. Angle from above, the body sprawls out on the floor as the girl steps back, screaming for all she's worth. Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2. Exterior, fountain quad day. Willow is carefully taking out her packed lunch, and how healthy it is. Buffy approaches her.
Hi. Willow, right?
Why? I mean, hi. You want me to move?
Why don't we start with, hi, I'm Buffy. And then let's segue directly into me asking you for a favor. It doesn't involve moving, but it does involve you hanging out with me for a while.
But aren't you hanging with Cordelia?
I can't do both.
Not legally.
Look, I really want to get by here. New school. Cordelia's been really nice to me anyway. But I have this burning desire not to flunk all my classes. And I heard a rumor that you were the person to talk to if I wanted to get caught up.
Oh, I could totally help you out. If you have 6th period free, we could meet in the library.
Or not. Or, we could meet somewhere quieter, louder. That place kind of gives me the Wiggins.
It has that effect on most kids. I love it though. It's a great collection and the new librarian's really cool.
He's new?
Yeah, he just started. He was a curator of some British museum or the British Museum. I'm not sure. But he knows everything and he brought all these historical volumes and biographies and am I the single dullest person alive?
Not at all.
Hey, are you guys busy? Can we interrupt? We're interrupting.
Hey.
Oh, hey there.
Buffy, this is Jessie and that's Xander.
Oh, me and Buffy go way back. old friends, very close. Then there was that period of estrangement. I think we were both changing as people, but here we are, and it's like old times. I'm quite moved.
Is it me, or are you turning into a bibbling idiot?
It's not you.
Nice meeting you guys, I think.
Well, we wanted to welcome you, make you feel at home, unless you have a scary home.
And to return this.
He produces the steak. Handwritten to the left side, she takes it.
The only thing I can figure is that you're building a really little fence.
Oh, no, that was for self-defense. Everyone has them in LA. Pepper spray is so passe.
So, what do you like? What do you do for fun? What do you do? What do you look for in a man? Let's hear it.
If you have any dark, painful secrets that we could publish.
She nobody wants to know about me. How keen.
Well, not all that happens in a one Starbucks town like Sunnydale. You're big news.
I'm not really.
Cordelia enters the scene. Are these people bothering you? She has appeared behind Jessie, all disdain on her face.
Oh, no.
She's not hanging out with us.
Jessie. Hey, Cordelia. Cordelia. Oh, please. I don't want to interrupt your downward mobility. I just thought I'd tell you that you won't be meeting Coach Foster, the woman with chest hair, because gym has been canceled due to the extreme dead guy in the locker.
What?
What are you talking about?
Some guy was stuffed in Aura's locker.
Dead?
Way dead.
So, not just a little dead then?
Don't you have somewhere to be? Jessie, if you need a shoulder to cry on or just to nibble on.
How did he die?
Cordelia, I don't know.
Well, were there any marks?
Morbid much. I didn't ask.
Look, I got a book. I'll see you guys later.
She takes off, the others watching her. Cordelia, what's her deal? Interior, hallway, outside locker room, continuous. Mr. Flutie closes the door quietly. He turns to see Buffy before him. Sam, let's throw you in here. Why don't you read for Mr. Flutie?
Okay. Buffy, what do you want?
Is there a guy in there that's dead?
Where did you hear that? Yes, but he's not a student. Not currently.
Do you know how he died?
What?
I mean, how could this have happened?
Well, that's for the police to determine when they get here. But this structure is safe. We have inspections, and I think there's no grounds for a lawsuit.
Was there a lot of blood? Was there any blood?
I would think you wouldn't want to involve yourself in this kind of thing.
I don't. Could I just take a peek?
Unless you are already involved.
Never mind.
Buffy, I understand this is confusing. You're probably feeling a lot right now. You should share those feelings with someone else.
Buffy smiles wanly and backs off. We cut to the side of the gym, continuous. Buffy comes around the side of the gym. There's a door to the locker room and she tries it, but it's locked. She looks around to make sure she's alone and then pulls the door open with a quick tug, splintering the lock. One last look around and she slips inside. Inside the women's locker room, Buffy approaches the body laid out under a blanket. She hesitates. She's sure she's not going to like what she sees. When she pulls the blanket from his head and shoulders, she sees his neck, and it has 2 big old bite marks in it. What floods onto Buffy's face is not horror, but grim frustration. She stares down at the body, nearly seething.
Great.
We cut to the library moments later. Buffy strides back in, attitude high.
Okay, what's the sitch?
She spies Giles and starts up towards him.
Sorry?
You heard about the dead guy, right? The dead guy in the locker?
Yes.
The weirdest thing, he's got 2 little holes in his neck and all his blood's been drained. Isn't that bizarre? Aren't you going, ooh?
I was afraid of this.
Well, I wasn't. It's my first day. I was afraid that I'd be behind in all my classes, that I wouldn't make any friends, that I'd have last month's hair. I didn't think there would be any vampires on campus, and I don't care.
Then why are you here?
She stops for a moment.
To tell you I don't care, which I don't, and now I've told you, so bye.
She starts out, maybe a little unsatisfied with her exit.
Will he rise again?
Who?
The boy.
He's just dead.
Can you be sure?
To make a vampire, they have to suck your blood, and then they have to suck their blood, and it's this whole big sucking thing. Mostly they'll just take all your blood and then you die, but why am I still talking to you?
You have no idea what's going on, do you? Do you think it's a coincidence you're coming here? That boy was just the beginning.
Why can't you just leave me alone?
Because you are the slayer.
She stops. No comeback just now. He starts down after her, solemnly intoning.
Into every generation a slayer is born. One girl in all the world, a chosen one. One born with the
strength and the
skill to hunt vampires.
Stop the spread of the evil, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it, okay?
I don't understand the attitude. You've accepted your duty. You've slain vampires before.
I've been both there and done that, and I'm moving on.
What do you know about this town?
2 hours on the freeway from Neiman Marcus?
Dig a bit in the history of this place and you'll find there've been a steady stream of fairly odd occurrences. I believe this area is a center of mystical energy. Things gravitate toward it that you might not find elsewhere.
Like vampires.
She tries to move past him, and he pulls a book off the shelf and hands it to her. It resembles the vampire book he showed her earlier. He continues to pull more off, piling them up in her arms.
Like werewolves, zombies, succubi, incubi, everything you ever dreaded under your bed and told yourself couldn't be by the light of day.
What, did you send away for the Time Life series?
Yes.
Did you get the free phone?
The calendar.
Cool. Okay, first of all, I'm a vampire slayer. And secondly, I'm retired. Hey, I know. Why don't you kill them?
I'm a watcher. I haven't the skill.
Oh, come on. Stake through the heart, a little sunlight. It's like falling off a log.
The slayer slays, the watcher.
Jeez.
Yes. No, he trains her. He prepares her.
Prepares me for what? For getting kicked out of school, losing all my friends, having to spend all my time fighting for my life and never getting to tell anyone because it might endanger them? Go ahead, prepare me.
There's a beat, and she leaves. Giles heads out after her. In the stacks, a shadowy figure moves about back there, emerges into the light. It's Xander. Excitement, amusement, and disbelief are all dancing in his face. Theories and trig is in his hands. He tries for a long time to form a word, but when he does, it is merely...
What?
We cut to the hall. Giles comes out of the library and calls out to Buffy.
It's getting worse.
She stops and turns. There are people about, so they're forced to whisper.
What's getting worse?
The influx of the undead, the supernatural occurrences. It's been building for years, and now there's a reason why you're here, and there's a reason why it's now.
Now is the time my mom moved here.
Something is coming. Something is going to happen here soon.
Gee, can you vague that up for me?
As far as I can tell, the signs point to a crucial mystical upheaval very soon. Days, possibly less.
Come on, this is Sunnydale. How bad and evil can there be here?
We cut to a dark place. It's nighttime. The camera tracks silently through a dark and eerie place. We see candles, broken statuary, a few figures bent in supplication. An ominous chanting fills the chamber. As we move up, we see a single figure kneeling, well ahead of the rest. He's large, powerful, appears to be in his late 20s. In fact, Luke is much older than that. His dress speaks of many eras, but definitely of none. The chanting increases in intensity as the camera continues to move about the place, passing over Luke, and we see what he's kneeling before for the first time, a pool of blood.
The sleeper will awaken.
As he speaks, we see his face clearly. Vampire. Not pretty.
The sleeper will awaken and the world will bleed.
He dips his finger in the blood.
Amen.
And now we see the church. It's a bizarre ruin we're in, buried beneath the ground. The stanchions and arches stand at haphazard angles, sheeted rock pushing in all sizes, at all sides. The pool of blood is on what would be the altar. The chanting fills the vast room as we black out. This is the end of Act 2. Act 3, Buffy's bedroom at night. She's in agony of outfit choosage, getting ready to go out. She has two, one scanty, the other somewhat plain. She holds them alternatively in front of her, looking in the mirror.
Hi, I'm an enormous slut. Hi, would you like a copy of The Watchtower? I used to be so good at this.
Joyce enters and watches her. Are you going out tonight, honey?
Yeah, Mom, I'm going to a club.
Will there be boys there?
No, Mom, it's a nun club.
Well, just be careful.
I will.
As the conversation segues into serious territory, both women become somewhat uncomfortable with each other. I think we can make it work here. I've got my positive energy flowing. I'm going to get the gallery on its feet. We may already have found a space.
Great.
That school, it's a very nurturing environment, which is just what you need.
Mom.
Oh, not too nurturing. I know. You're 16. I read all about the dangers of over nurturing. It's hard. New town. For me too. I'm trying to make it work. I'm going to make it work.
I know.
You're a good girl, Buffy. You just fell in with the wrong crowd, but that's all behind us now.
It is. From now on, I'm only hanging out with the lively people.
Okay, have fun. Cut to street at night. Buffy makes her way on foot to the Bronze. She leaves the suburban area the house is in for the deserted city streets on the edge of town. She turns a corner, walks down the street, lost in thought, until she hears footsteps behind her. She stops, turns slowly. A figure stands in the dark behind her, far enough away that she doesn't feel right saying anything to it. It doesn't move. She can't see its face, but it seems to be looking at her. Buffy turns to go, but the figure follows. A moment later, on another street, Buffy turns the corner somewhat worried, moving faster. The figure follows, always at a discreet distance. Now in an alley a moment later, Buffy turns in. She looks about her. A pipe runs across the narrow alley some 10 feet above her. Garbage cans cluster at the other end. We see the figure. He turns into the now empty alley and starts down it. Buffy suddenly drops down on him, legs locked over his neck. She throws herself back, tipping him over, rolling herself and slamming his body onto the ground. He's on his feet quickly, but she grabs him and throws him up against the wall. She closes in, but he makes no move to attack. He puts up his hands.
Is there a problem, ma'am?
He seems faintly amused. Buffy eyes him suspiciously, getting her first good look at him. Angel is strikingly handsome, with intelligence and a kind of distance in his eyes, and he moves with a fighter's grace.
There's a problem. Why are you following me?
I know what you're thinking, but don't worry. I don't bite.
She backs off, a bit perplexed.
Truth is, I thought you'd be taller. Or bigger. Muscles and all that. You're pretty spry, though.
What do you want?
Same thing you do.
The amusement leaves his face.
To kill them. To kill them all.
Sorry, that's incorrect, but you do get this lovely watch and a year's worth of turtle wax. What I want is to be left alone.
You really think that's an option anymore? You're standing in the mouth of hell, and it's about to open.
He reaches into his coat for something. It's a jewelry box. He throws it at her.
Don't turn your back on this. You've got to be ready.
For what?
The harvest.
He starts out.
Who are you?
Let's just say I'm a friend.
Well, maybe I don't want a friend.
I didn't say I was yours.
He goes. Buffy watches him go, then opens the box. In the box is a cross, a small antique on a gold chain. Handwritten to the side, silver, gold chain is circled. Wider angle, Buffy alone in the alley. Buffy looks at the cross at the departing figure of the mysterious man. And as she walks slowly away, the camera tracks past the corner, past another group of garbage cans. In front of them, right before us, but unseen by Buffy, are two figures. The poor man we saw in her dream, and a vampire. The beast has its face burying into his neck as the last of his life shudders out. We cut to the Bronze. A decent crowd mills aimlessly around the joint, high school students and older. The place has an appealingly divey earthiness, no waiting in line for the bouncer to decide whether you're cool or not. Those that are in line wait only to pay the $4 to get their hand stamped if they're old enough to drink. Buffy moves her way up the line, scanning about for a familiar face. She doesn't find one. As she's let in, we follow her into the Bronze. It's dark, crowded, and noisy. A fairly handsome thrash-some band holds forth on stage, blasting the kind of music that would cause major moshing in a rowdier crowd. Coffee bars in the back and a balcony above with tables for two. Buffy makes her way through, still looking about. A good-looking guy spies her and waves at her, smiling. Buffy smiles vaguely, waving back. A moment before, she realizes he's waving to a guy right behind her. She attempts to turn her wave into fixing her hair, looking embarrassed. We see Willow, and she's getting a soda at the bar. She turns back to look at the band just as Buffy comes up to her.
Hi,
Oh, hi. Hi.
are you here with someone?
No, I'm just here. I thought Xander was going to show up.
Oh, are you guys going out?
No, we're just friends. We used to go out, but we broke up.
How come?
He stole my Barbie. We were 5.
Oh,
I don't actually date a whole lot lately.
why not?
Well, when I'm with a boy I like, it's hard for me to say anything cool or witty or at all. I can usually make a few vowel sounds and then I have to go away.
It's not that bad.
It is. I think boys are more interested in a girl who can talk.
You haven't been dating lately.
It's probably easy for you.
Oh yeah, real easy.
I mean, you don't seem too shy.
Well, my philosophy is, do you want to hear my philosophy?
I do.
Life is short.
Life is short.
Not original, I'll grant you, but it's true. Why waste time being all shy? Why worry about some guy and if he's going to laugh at you, you know? Seize the moment, because tomorrow you might be dead.
Oh. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Buffy sees somebody moving about on the balcony, and her brow furrows.
I'll be back in a minute.
That's okay. You don't have to come back.
Buffy smiling at her self-effacing attitude. Oh, she takes off, leaving Willow at the bar.
Seize the moment.
Atop the balcony, Buffy comes up, making her way to the railing overlooking the stage. She leans on it, and we see that Giles is standing behind her. He doesn't even look at her.
So you like to party with the students. Isn't that kind of skanky?
Right, this is me having fun. Watching clown hair prance about is hardly my idea of a party. I'd much prefer to be home with a cup of Bovril and a good book.
Dad.
This is a perfect breeding ground for vampire activity. Dark, crowded. Besides, I knew you were likely to show up, and I have to make you understand.
That the harvest is coming. I know, your friend told me.
What did you say?
The harvest. That means something to you? Because I'm drawing a blank.
I'm not sure. Who told you this?
This guy, dark, gorgeous, in an annoying sort of way. I figured you were buds.
No. The harvest. Did he say anything else?
Something about the mouth of hell. I really didn't like him.
They both look down at the floor for a moment at the dancing kids.
Look at them. Throwing themselves about, completely unaware of the danger that surrounds them.
Lucky them.
Or perhaps you're right. Perhaps there is no trouble coming. The signs could be wrong. It's not as though you're having the nightmares.
And we move in on Buffy's face, clouding over. She says nothing, just looks down at the dancing kids. We see the floor. Kids ride about to the music with healthy abandon. We find Cordelia off to the side watching with her friends. My mom doesn't even get out of bed anymore. The doctor says it's Epstein-Barr. I'm like, please, it's chronic hepatitis or at least chronic fatigue syndrome. I mean, nobody cool has Epstein-Barr anymore. Suddenly, Jessie approaches her smiling. Could I ask Sam to read Jessie?
Sure.
Sorry, I keep putting you in the spot.
It's okay. Cordelia,
Oh, yay, it's my stalker.
hey, you look great.
Well, I'm glad we had this chat.
Listen, do you want to dance?
With you?
Well, yeah.
Well, no. She takes off, posse in tow. Jessie just soaks up the pain.
Fine. Plenty of other fish in the sea? Oh yeah. I'm on the prowl. Witness me prowling.
He looks around at the throng, officially beginning his prowl. We see Buffy and Giles in mid-conversation. Shaken by the dreams thing, Buffy is giving ground.
I didn't say I'd never slay another vampire. I'm just not getting get way extracurricular with it. If I run into one, sure.
But will you be ready? There's so much you don't know about them, about your own powers. A vampire appears to be a normal person until the feed is upon them. Only then do they reveal their true demonic visage.
It's like a textbook with arms. I know this.
The point is, a slayer should be able to see them anyway. Without looking, without thinking, can you tell me if there's a vampire in this building?
Maybe.
You should know. Even through this mass and this din, you should be able to sense them. Try. Reach out with your mind.
She looks down at the mass of kids on the floor and furrows her brow.
You have to hone your senses, focus until the energy washes over you, till you can feel every particle of...
There's one.
Giles stops, nonplussed.
What? Where?
Down there talking to that girl.
We see their point of view. In the corner stands a good-looking young man talking to a girl we can't really see.
But you don't know.
Please look at his jacket. He's got the sleeves rolled up. And the shirt? Deal with that outfit for a moment.
It's dated?
It's carbon dated. Trust me, only someone who's been living underground for 10 years would think that was the look.
But you didn't hone.
Oh no.
We see that the vampire is still chatting with the girl. He motions for her to come with him, and she comes into view. It's Willow.
Isn't that?
Hello.
What is she doing?
Seizing the moment.
She starts towards the stairs. We see Willow and the vampire boy head out the back door by the stage. Buffy fights her way down the stairs. She looks toward where they were and sees they're gone. She looks about a moment and then, guessing correctly, heads for the backstage door as well. But it's a struggle. The closer she gets to the stage, the more crowded it gets. She finally pushes to the door. We cut to backstage. It's dark here and somewhat labyrinthian. Buffy moves slowly, cautiously. There's no one about. She finds an old chair, snaps a leg off, a makeshift stake. There's no one about. Buffy heads for the exit door and sticks her head out it, but there's no one in the alley either. Slowly, perturbed, she starts back for the main door. She turns the corner, and he's on her. She grabs him, throws him up against the wall, holding him 2 feet off the ground. Well, holding her, actually. Holding Cordelia, who has the same dumbfounded gape that the other girls coming out of the bathroom have.
Cordelia!
Excuse me? Could you be any weirder? Is there more weirdness that you could have? Buffy lets her down, lowering the stake. God, what is your childhood trauma?
Did you guys see Willow? Did she come by here?
Why? Did you need to attack her with a stick? Buffy gives up. Face red, she retreats back the way she came. Cordy and the others are still agape. After a moment, Cordy regains her composure. Excuse me, I have to call everyone that I've ever met right now. We cut to the bronze, continuous. Buffy comes back out and finds Giles at the bottom of the stairs. She looks around as he says,
Is he dead? That was fast. Well done. I'd best go to the library. This harvest is...
I didn't find them.
The vampire's not dead?
My social life is on the critical list.
What do we do?
You go on, I'll take care of it.
I should come with you, no?
Don't worry. One vampire I can handle.
As she exits, she brushes past Jesse. The camera stays on him as we see he is chatting up a girl.
What did you say your name was?
And the camera comes around to show the girl he's talking to. It's the vampire from the opening. Needless to say, she has her normal face on. And she'll be now known from now on as
Darla.
Darla. I haven't seen you before. Are you from around here?
No, but I've got family here.
Have I met them?
You probably will.
We cut to the church. The chanting we heard earlier continues, peaking in intensity. By the altar, Luke suddenly looks up. He starts moving slowly back, his eyes wide with religious fervor. All the figures in the church start moving back, almost as one. We see the pool of blood, where low, right above the surface as Luke prays before it. Suddenly, a head shoots up from in the blood. Luke starts and looks at it. He moves back, away from the pool. Something breaks the surface of the liquid. Something rises. This is the Master, the most powerful of vampires. Born Heinrich Joseph Nest some 600 years ago, he wears a vaguely SS-like outfit. What he does not wear is anything resembling a human face. He is as much demon as man. As powerful as Luke is, it's clear that this man is much more so, both from his bearing and from the reverence with which Luke looks upon him.
Master.
We black out, and this is the end of Act 3. Act 4. Inside the church moments later, the Master steps forward, his face still in relative darkness. Luke steps back reverentially. The Master looks about him for a moment.
Luke,
Master.
I am weak.
Come the harvest, you'll be restored.
The harvest.
We're almost there. Soon you'll be free.
The Master takes another step forward, past Luke. He reaches his hand out slowly. As he does, the air in front of him starts to ripple slightly, a kind of mystical wall. He pulls his hand back.
I must be ready. I need my strength.
I'll send your servants to bring you some food.
Good.
Luke starts out.
Luke,
Yes?
bring me something young.
We're outside the street by Wooded Glade. Willow and the vampire boy walk along, alone in the dark. She's clearly nervous, though not for the reason she should be.
Sure is dark.
Vampire boy says, "It's night."
That's a dark time, night, traditionally.
They walk a bit more.
I still can't believe I've never seen you at school. Do you have Mr. Komsky for history?
He doesn't answer, but he stops.
The ice cream bar's down this way. It's past Hamilton Street.
He takes her hand and says, "I know a shortcut." He leads her into the dark of wood. We cut to outside the bronze, but Buffy comes from around the back looking around. Then Xander comes up to her carrying his skateboard.
You're leaving already?
Xander, have you seen Willow?
Not tonight.
I need to find her. She left with a guy.
We are talking about Willow, right? Scoring at the bronze. Work it, girlfriend.
Where would they go?
Why, you know something about Mr. Goodbar that she doesn't? Oh, hey, I hope he's not a vampire, because then you'd have to slay him.
She turns back to him, surprised and miffed.
Was there a school bulletin? Was it in the news? Is there anybody in this town who doesn't know I'm a slayer?
I only know that you think you're a slayer, and I only know that because I was in the library today.
Whatever, just tell me where Willow would go.
You're serious?
We don't find her, there's going to be another dead body in the morning.
A beat, and he looks at her. She sees that she is not kidding, isn't wrong.
Come on.
As they head off, we cut to the graveyard. Willow is still walking with Vampire Boy, but she's getting increasingly creeped out.
Okay, this is nice and scary. Are you sure this is faster?
He says nothing. She keeps walking beside him, uncertain. He stops at a small mausoleum. The entrance is a well of black. Vampire boy says, "Hey, you ever been in one of these?"
No, thank you.
He moves in close, holding her intimately, and says, "Come on, what are you afraid of?" He pushes her into the blackness of the entrance. We cut to the mausoleum. Willow stumbles in. She looks about her frighteningly, adjusting to the increased dark. The place is small, with carved stone walls. A large tomb takes up much of the middle, the stone figure of a man lying atop it. Behind her is the doorway she came in. Ahead, a much smaller iron door, locked shut. She spins all the way around to see the boy filling the entrance.
That wasn't funny.
No response. He steps closer, his face in shadow. She circles away from him, moving closer to the doorway.
I think I'm gonna go.
Is that what you think? All the playfulness is drained out of his voice. She takes a step back, another, turns and moves, wham, right into Darla. Emitting something between a scream and a squeak, Willow steps back. Darla looks at her and at the boy.
Is this the best you could do?
She's fresh.
Hardly enough to share.
Well, why didn't you bring your own?
I did.
She indicates the doorway behind her as Jesse stumbles dazed from the darkness.
Hey, wait up.
Jesse!
She goes over to him, relieved. He's clutching his neck.
I think you gave me a hickey.
He takes his hand away. There's blood on it, on his neck. Willow looks over at the other two, her eyes wide.
I got hungry on the way. Jesse, let's get out of here. You're not going anywhere. Leave us alone. You're not going anywhere until we've fed.
And on the last word, she brings her face right up to Willow's, and it changes, snaps right before our eyes into the grotesque demon face we saw before. Willow screams and takes a stumbled step back and falls. The boy laughs, circling, and we see that he has changed as well.
Well, this is nice.
She steps in with Xander following her. Everybody stops.
A little bare, but a dash of paint, a few throw pillows, call it home.
Who the hell are you?
Wow, you mean there's actually somebody around here who doesn't know already? That's a relief. I'm telling you, having a secret identity in this town is a job of work.
He's moving between the two vampires who loosen their grip on their respective victims.
Buffy, we bail now, right?
Not yet.
Okay, first of all, what's with this outfit? Live in the now, okay? You look like DeBarge. Now we can do this the hard way, or actually, there's just the hard way.
Fine with me.
I'm sure it's not going to be pretty. We're talking violence, strong language, adult content.
As she speaks, the boy vampire rushes her from behind, charging at her with incredible speed and momentum. But Buffy whips a stake out from her jacket and, in one graceful motion, sticks it out behind her, letting the boy impale himself on it. He stops, eyes wide, and falls back. Buffy never even faces him. We see the boy as he hits the ground. His body crumbles to dust.
See what happens when you roughhouse.
Xander and Willow are speechless. They stare at the ground where a body used to be. Darla is wide-eyed, exceedingly wary, but not cowed. She moves slowly around, preparing to fight herself.
He was young and stupid.
Xander, go.
Don't go far.
She lunges at Buffy, who parries her blows with martial arts precision. Xander herds the others out. We cut to the graveyard. The three kids run out of the mausoleum, Willow and Xander supporting Jesse. All three are totally freaked. Jesse the least so, since he's still weak and dazed. We cut to the mausoleum. Darla hits the ground with a painful thud. Buffy stands over her. She's a bit out of breath, and the humor's gone from her visage.
You know, I just wanted to start over, be like everybody else, have some friends, maybe a dog, but no, you had to come here. You couldn't just go suck on some other town.
Who are you?
Don't you know?
Hands suddenly grab Buffy by the throat and lift her bodily from the ground.
I don't care.
He steps out of the shadows from behind her, his bulk dwarfing her, and throws her a good 15 feet. She hits the wall face first, landing badly. Luke then turns on to Darla, who's getting up.
You were supposed to be bringing an offering for the master. We're almost at harvest, and you dally with this child?
We had someone, but she came and she killed Thomas. Luke, she's strong.
You go. I'll see if I can handle the little girl.
We see Buffy as she lifts herself off the floor, just as Luke suddenly closes on her and grabs her. She's ready this time, though, and she knocks his arms away, kicks him in the face. It sends him back a bit, but he recovers in a second, landing a solid punch to her jaw.
You are strong.
He slams her back on the ground.
I'm stronger.
We cut to the forest. The three kids are making pretty good time, despite having to support Jessie.
We'll get the police. It's just a few blocks up.
They stop, they stare, and despair creeps onto their faces. Three vampires stand waiting for them. We cut to the mausoleum. Buffy looks like she's been kicked around a bit. She circles around the tomb, keeping it between her and Luke.
You're wasting my time.
Hey, I had other plans too, okay?
He shoves the top of the tomb with all his might, sends it flying at her. She leaps over it, jumps up onto the tomb, leaps off it, flipping, and wham! Plants both feet solidly in Luke's chest. He falls back, as does she. She gets up first and pulls out her stake, drives it towards his chest, but he grabs just before it reaches.
You think you can stop me? Stop us?
He squeezes, and the stake splinters in his powerful grip. He punches Buffy, knocks her back.
You have no idea who you're dealing with.
He stands triumphant over her, begins intoning the sacred text.
And like a plague of boils, the race of man covered the earth. But on the third day of the newest light will come over the harvest.
We cut to the library. Giles has his ancient texts out and is studying them in growing consternation.
When the blood of men will flow as wine.
We see Giles's book, and it shows a door-like engraving, a massacre, people writhing, blood everywhere. In the center of them all, a demon with a three-pointed star on his forehead, feeding off a woman. We cut to the church. We track in on the master sitting, his face in darkness.
When the master will walk among them once more.
We cut to the forest. Xander, Willow, and Jessie back away from the vampires.
The world will belong to the old ones.
They find Darla right behind them. We cut to the mausoleum. Buffy's getting up, keeping her eyes on itself will come to town. She tries to move to the side to get away. He backhands Buffy with all the force he has, and she flies back right into the tomb. Buffy falls and lands hard on her back, the wind knocked out of her. She looks beside her and sees the withered corpse of the tomb's owner. She's hurt, pretty bad. She looks up, but no Luke. Only the walls of the tomb. Anywhere. Slowly, achingly slowly, she lifts her head, truly scared. Looks over one side of the tomb, nothing. Looks over the other. Luke fills the frame, roaring, jumping into the crypt on top of her. She tries to fight him off, but she's well pinned. He contemplates her a moment with gleeful animal hunger.
Amen.
He bears down. We black out. To be continued. Yay! To be continued. Let's finish this. I don't know what happened.
The two-parter, classic two-parter.
I know. That's how they hook you in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we're all done. That was it. That was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, episode 1, season 1. Welcome to the Hellmouth. And if you have joined us thus far, thank you. Thank you for watching with us and watching us have so much fun doing this reading today. As a reminder, we do still have our donations open, and just, if you feel so kind, it's so drawn to donate, please feel free to do so. All the information will be on the screen. If you would, I don't know if this has also been mentioned, but this live table read will be up on Freakish Films Facebook page, so you can go back and rewatch it and kind of live all the excitement of that we had today. So before we go, I want to go around one more time, and so that the cast can reintroduce or just kind of say but goodbye, and also to share how you can socialize with us and connect with us online if you have social, because I know a lot of us maybe not don't have them. But with that being said, let's start with you, Sam. Just kind of remind us about how we can follow you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is real. That's REEL Texas Weirdo.
All right. Oh, and if you guys have anything else to add, please feel free to just chat because it doesn't just have to be your handle. So Sam, I don't know if you had anything else, but
No, that's about it.
all right. All right. Well, thank you, Sam. Tiana.
Yeah, my name is Tiana Stewart, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook, mostly Instagram, at Tiana Stewart ATX. And thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
All right. All right, Hunter.
Yeah, once again, my name's Hunter Wolf. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wolf is the name. That's WULFF is the name. And that's all I have going on right now. I'm on Twitter all the time and reading and watching movies. So that's it.
Gotta love that Twitter.
Quarantine, baby.
I know. Tell me about it. And Laura, you're up next.
I'm Lara Shah. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on mostly Instagram, Lara Shah, LARASHAH _. And then I'm also on Facebook, but really I just post to Instagram and it goes to Facebook. So it's all the same content. Wanted to tell everyone, thank you again. And please be safe, wear your masks, stay inside. Let's really flatten this curve this time.
Yes, that is such a great point. I love that you brought that up. Yes, please wear your mask, stay safe. And I guess I will go ahead and share my handle. I'm Gracie Vargas, and I am at #_Gracie, GRACY at Twitter and on Instagram. But, also on Facebook, kind of like just to reiterate what was said before. But yeah, that concludes our reading today. Thank you again. Check out our links and check us out on our Instagram and on our Twitters. And we will see you very soon for yet another reading. We hope you'll join us. Thank you, and have a wonderful night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.